Hi, my name is Sami. I'm a rising junior at University High School, and this is my final milestone, my base project for my RC Hovercraft. And my first two steps were building the body and the skirt, but now we inserted the electronics, so now it could work. So I'm going to show a quick demo. I'm going to plug in the batteries really quickly. Okay, I'm going to close the top. As you can see, I have a little hole here for some more airflow into the lift motor. So I'm going to turn it on. As you can see, it's a little unbalanced, but it could still move properly. And move once it goes faster, it's easier to control where it goes, so that a slight imbalance in the skirt doesn't really do much. So now you can turn it off and open it back up again, and now I'm going to explain all the electronics in here. Starting with the receiver. The receiver has around 7 channels. Hold on, I'm going to unplug these so they don't make that beeping noise. So this receiver has 7 channels, and I only use 3 of them. One for the servo, and then the 2 other for the ESCs. The ESCs are each connected to their respective motors, and also to the battery. And then there's the LiPo 12.5 volt batteries in here. There's the lift motor, there's the servo here, and there's the propulsion motor. Now I have 3 main challenges with building this. And my first challenge was, how do I connect this motor to the servo? And what I did was I made dimensions for 2 half circles that have holes on either end of them. And then I also made a plastic platform underneath. And what the half circles do is they're hot glued onto the motor, and they fit really well. They fit with the cylindrical shape of the motor. And then those half circles the zip ties are looped through the holes and then wrapped around the motor again. I know it doesn't look very pretty, but it adds extra security. And then the plastic platform underneath has little notches, and the half circles have little lips at the bottom of them, and then they fit perfectly into the plastic platform, which is then super glued for extra security. And then that plastic platform is then screwed onto the servo stand, and the servo stand is then screwed onto the actual servo itself, which allows it to turn and move back and forth using my controller. My second challenge I had was the weight distribution, and since you can see in my body it's very skinny, that means that there's not a lot of space to move around the weight and distribute the weight to make it even and have the center of gravity be perfect. So what I ended up doing is I cut some holes, like one right here and the one on the other side, and I slipped the batteries through there. So the batteries, instead of being in this compartment, they're between this slanted wall right here and this wall right here. So they're in this tiny compartment here, which allowed me to distribute the weight more evenly throughout the hovercraft, which allowed it to be more balanced in the end. And then my final challenge was with the skirt. Although I'd already completed the skirt for my second milestone, there were many problems with it. One being the way it was designed with these strips. If there were any imperfections with the lift motor, the balance, the airflow, the weight distribution, then the skirt would be completely imbalanced, because it would pull the, using the strip, one side of the skirt that got a little more airflow would pull the skirt, the other side of the skirt with it to that side, which would make it not hover completely perfectly, or make it hover completely to one side. So what I did is, I know this isn't a perfectly secure, guaranteed solution that would last forever. What I did is I just put some pieces of duct tape on certain parts of the skirt to make it, to hold it down a little more and to restrict the max volume of air that could go into the skirt, to allow it to be more balanced throughout, so it still could hover properly. And that's basically it. Future steps, I'm just going to be adding modifications now. I'm going to be adding some lights and some ultrasonic sensors to connect to brakes. And as a reflection, I really enjoyed this project. I thought it was really fun. I love mechanical engineering, and this had a lot of it. And I thought it was super fun, and although there were a ton of tedious steps that I didn't really like that much, like the sewing of the skirt, which I had to do over again, and it was just not super fun because I'm not a huge fan of sewing. I definitely thought it was worth it, and it's a super cool product to end up with. I thought it definitely was a fun project. I'm glad I did it. Thank you and goodbye.